The old model GAZ-12 truck, often regarded as a forgotten masterpiece of Soviet automotive engineering, holds a special place in the history of Russian transportation and industrial design. Built during an era when the Soviet Union was striving to rebuild and modernize after the devastation of World War II, the GAZ-12 represents both the innovation and the resilience of an entire generation of engineers and workers. The Gorky Automobile Plant, GAZ, established in the 1930s, became the beating heart of Soviet vehicle production, manufacturing not only military and civilian trucks, but also passenger cars that embodied strength, durability, and simplicity. Although many people today associate the GAZ-12 designation with the luxury limousine GAZ-12ZM, there were also early prototype and truck versions that carried forward the mechanical spirit of that design. Practical, powerful, and built to last in some of the harshest conditions imaginable. The origins of the GAZ-12 truck date back to the post-war years when the Soviet Union needed a reliable medium-duty truck to serve both urban and rural infrastructure projects. At that time, transportation was a critical part of the nation's reconstruction efforts. Roads had been destroyed, rail networks were overloaded, and the movement of goods across long distances required vehicles capable of handling poor terrain. The engineers at GAZ responded to these challenges by developing a truck that would combine simplicity with ruggedness, a hallmark of Soviet design philosophy. The GAZ-12 truck was crafted with an emphasis on practicality, avoiding unnecessary complexity. Its frame was made from thick steel beams, designed to bear heavy loads while maintaining structural integrity over thousands of kilometers. Under the hood, the GAZ-12 truck featured a reliable inline-six engine, derived from earlier models, but enhanced for greater torque and fuel efficiency. This engine was designed to work on low-octane fuel, which was common in the Soviet Union at the time, making it particularly suited to the limited resources of post-war life. It produced modest horsepower by modern standards, around 90 to 100 horsepower, but in those days, that was more than enough to haul goods, construction materials, and agricultural supplies. The engine's design focused on easy maintenance. It could be repaired by almost any village mechanic with basic tools, which was crucial for a country as vast and remote as the USSR. The gearbox was manual, typically with 4 speeds, and the transmission system allowed for strong pulling power, making the truck a favorite among workers who needed reliability over luxury in terms of appearance. The GAZ-12 truck reflected the industrial aesthetics of its era. Its front end had a bold and symmetrical design, featuring a large chrome grille with horizontal bars, round headlights housed in simple metal casings, and a hood that opened wide for easy engine access. The body was boxy and purposeful, without decorative curves or luxury touches. However, it had a certain charm. Its simplicity and sturdiness gave it a timeless look. Many Soviet citizens who saw these trucks in the 1950s and 1960s would later recall them as symbols of progress and the working class. The truck's cab was spacious for its time, capable of seating 2 or 3 passengers, though comfort was minimal. Hard benches, metal dashboards, and simple instrument panels made up the interior, but everything was functional. The windshield was split into 2 pieces, typical of vehicles from that period, and provided excellent visibility for navigating rough terrain or city streets. What truly set the GAZ-12 truck apart was its versatility. It came in multiple configurations: flatbed, dump truck, tanker, and even bus conversions were made using its chassis. This adaptability made it invaluable across different sectors. In agriculture, it carried crops, fertilizers, and livestock feed across the fields of the Soviet Union. In construction, it transported cement, bricks, and timber to build cities and factories. In the military, the trucks served as a logistics vehicle, carrying ammunition, troops, and equipment across remote battlefields. Its strong suspension and rear-wheel drive made it reliable even on unpaved roads, muddy routes, and snowy landscapes. The truck could endure extreme temperatures, from the freezing cold of Siberia to the scorching heat of Central Asia, without significant mechanical issues. The GAZ-12 truck also represented a key step in the Soviet automotive industry's shift toward mass production and modernization. The Gorky plant implemented efficient manufacturing processes, using conveyor lines and standardized components to boost production speed. This approach allowed the Soviet Union to meet the growing demand for vehicles during the industrial expansion of the 1950s and 1960s. Each truck was built to last, often serving for decades with minimal maintenance. In many rural areas, GAZ-12 trucks continued operating well into the 1980s, long after newer models had been introduced. Some owners even modified them for personal use, turning them into homemade transporters or mobile workshops. Despite its durability, the GAZ-12 truck faced challenges as newer designs emerged. By the late 1960s, Soviet engineers began developing more advanced trucks such as the GAZ-53 and ZIL series, which offered better comfort, payload capacity, and fuel economy. However, the legacy of the GAZ-12 remained strong. It had paved the way for these innovations. Many of the design principles used in the GAZ-12, such as simplified maintenance, strong suspension, and adaptable chassis, became foundational concepts in later Soviet vehicle development. It was not just a machine. It was a teacher, shaping the direction of Soviet truck engineering for decades to come. In today's world, the GAZ-12 truck is considered a rare collectible. Vintage vehicle enthusiasts and restorers across Russia and Eastern Europe seek out surviving examples to restore them to their former glory. Museums of Soviet industry proudly display them as examples of post-war resilience and ingenuity. When restored, a GAZ-12 truck can be an impressive sight. Its shiny grille, polished metal, and vintage design evoke a sense of nostalgia for an era when vehicles were built not for comfort, but for endurance. The sound of its engine, the solid thump of its doors, and the smell of metal and oil take enthusiasts back to the 1950s, when driving one of these machines meant being part of the nation's rebuilding effort. From a technical standpoint, the GAZ-12 truck was not revolutionary, but it was incredibly well-balanced. Its simplicity made it dependable. Its components were over-engineered for strength, allowing it to carry loads beyond its official capacity. The mechanical layout was straightforward: engine in the front, rear-wheel drive, and leaf-spring suspension at both ends. This gave it excellent stability and predictable handling even on rough terrain. The braking system was fully mechanical at first and later upgraded to hydraulics, improving safety and control. The fuel tank, located beneath the cab, held enough gasoline for long journeys, and many owners modified it for extra capacity when traveling through remote regions. The truck also played a role in Soviet culture. It was featured in old films, propaganda posters, and literature as a symbol of the hard-working Soviet citizen. Drivers of the GAZ-12 were respected figures. They delivered food to collective farms, materials to factories, and supplies to distant regions where trains could not reach. For many, the truck represented more than transportation. It was a lifeline that connected villages, industries, and people. During national holidays or parades, decorated GAZ trucks often carried banners and flags, celebrating the unity and labor of the Soviet people. Even though technology has advanced far beyond what the GAZ-12 offered, the lessons it embodied remain relevant today. Its design philosophy, simplicity, durability, and serviceability continues to influence modern utility vehicles. In many developing regions, engineers still admire the Soviet approach to vehicle design, which prioritized practical engineering over luxury. The GAZ-12 truck showed that a well-made machine does not need to be complex to be effective. It was built with purpose, designed to serve the people rather than impress them, and that ethos resonates strongly in today's sustainability-focused world. In conclusion, the old model GAZ-12 truck stands as an enduring monument to Soviet engineering and the determination of an era that prioritized progress through hard work and ingenuity. Though overshadowed by newer models and more famous names, it remains one of the unsung heroes of post-war reconstruction. Its legacy lives on in every surviving example, lovingly maintained by collectors and historians who see in it a piece of history, a machine that once carried the weight of a nation on its steel frame. More than just a truck, the GAZ-12 was a symbol of endurance, unity, and the human spirit's ability to rebuild and move forward, no matter how difficult the road ahead.